Welcome, everyone. Today, we are diving into a critical component of enterprise AI strategy, prioritizing and developing use cases for pre-built SaaS-based agents. Let's get started on learning how to accelerate your AI transformation. Let's begin by defining our core strategy. When architecting an AI adoption plan, the guiding rule is the SaaS agent-first principle. What this means is that before you write a single line of code or build a custom architecture, you must evaluate if a pre-built agent can do the job. Pre-built Microsoft 365 Copilot agents are ready-to-use assistants that retrieve information and automate tasks right out of the box. Why do we do this? Because it perfectly aligns with the cloud adoption framework, allowing us to minimize complexity and get immediate business value. How you apply this is simple. Ask yourself if the out-of-the-box agent meets your functional needs. If yes, you use it. As we deep dive into this, remember that we treat these pre-built agents as full products with defined missions, security guardrails, and success metrics. Take a look at this flowchart, which illustrates our technology decision framework. Everything starts at the top with your business requirement. The very first decision gate is checking if a pre-built SaaS agent meets your functional needs. If the answer is yes, you follow the green path directly to deployment. This is your fastest route to ROI. Only if the answer is no do you move down to consider low-code options like Copilot Studio or pro-code platforms like Azure Foundry. Now that we know what the strategy is, why should developing use cases for pre-built agents be your primary focus? The answer is speed and seamless integration. By focusing on pre-built agents, you are targeting everyday, repetitive tasks like summarizing emails or searching for HR policies that can be automated immediately. The beauty of this approach is that these agents deliver massive value without requiring a team of developers. How you implement them is by activating them directly inside the tools your employees already use, like Teams and Outlook. For our deep dive, it's crucial to understand the security aspect. These agents automatically respect your existing Microsoft 365 permissions. They do not bypass your data loss prevention policies, making them incredibly safe to deploy at scale. This diagram highlights the 4 foundational benefits of pre-built agents. At the center is our pre-built agent, branching out to its key strengths. Notice the zero custom code and rapid time to value nodes. These represent efficiency. On the bottom branches, we see M365 native integration, linking directly to the apps your teams use daily, and built-in governance, which ensures that the agent perfectly respects all user permissions and security policies right out of the box. So, how do we actually find the right use cases? You can't just deploy AI blindly. You need to identify high-value scenarios. The basics involve looking closely at the daily workflows of your employees and finding tasks that are highly repetitive or require digging through vast amounts of data. Why is this evaluation so important? Because targeting the right pain points guarantees a strong return on investment and ensures your employees will actually adopt the tool. How do we do this systematically as architects? We look at 4 indicators: task repetitiveness, knowledge intensity, pain points, and ROI KPIs. Let's deep dive into the KPIs. You want to measure exactly how many hours are saved, if IT support tickets drop, and if cycle times for decision-making are significantly accelerated. This chart represents the evaluation funnel for identifying high-value use cases. You start at the top and assess potential scenarios through 4 distinct lenses: task repetitiveness, knowledge intensity, operational pain points, and ROI KPIs. If a business process scores highly across these 4 nodes, it converges at the decision gate, confirming it is a high-value target. From there, it is officially selected for a pre-built agent deployment. Once we have our target scenarios, the next step is mapping those manual business processes to actual AI capabilities. Basically, we need to translate human actions into AI functions. For instance, a human reading 10 documents is mapped to the AI capability of summarization. Why do we do this? It ensures that the pre-built agent is technically capable of solving the specific operational problem. How do we execute this? We use a capability matrix. If employees are wasting time searching for scattered documents, we map that to the retrieval capability. Deep diving into specific patterns, if the pain point is high writing load, we map it to summarization and generation. If HR is overwhelmed with repetitive questions, we map it to knowledge QA, grounded in company policy. Here we have a bipartite mapping diagram. On the left, you see the common manual processes: searching for documents, drafting reports, and answering FAQs. The arrows pass through our mapping framework and connect to the exact pre-built agent capabilities on the right: retrieval, summarization and generation, and knowledge Q&A. This visual alignment is exactly how architects justify the technological fit for pre-built agents. To really leverage the SaaS-first approach, we need to look at the common pre-built agent patterns Microsoft already provides. What we have is a catalog of managed agents designed for specific departments. The basics include ready-to-deploy templates like the IT Help Desk, Safe Travels, and Financial Insights agents. Why should you use them? Because they reduce your development timeline to mere minutes while delivering highly specialized assistance. How it works is simple. You install the agent from the Copilot Studio catalog and point it at your company's data. For our deep dive, consider the IT Help Desk agent. Out of the box, it can integrate with ServiceNow to troubleshoot issues, read your internal knowledge base, and even create or track escalation tickets automatically. This diagram showcases the managed agent catalog at the top, splitting into 4 prominent pre-built templates. Beneath each template, you can see its specific domain strength. The IT Help Desk agent connects to ServiceNow, Safe Travels links to travel advisories, Financial Insights pulls market data, and Store Operations checks inventory. These templates show how pre-built agents handle complex, specific workflows immediately. Before you finalize your use case, you must validate its feasibility. What this means is running a readiness check to ensure the pre-built agent will actually work in your specific environment. The absolute basic requirement is verifying that your target data actually lives inside Microsoft 365. Why? Because if the data isn't there or isn't accessible, the agent has nothing to ground its answers on, leading to inaccurate responses. How do architects do this? We evaluate if the business need can be solved purely through retrieval and generation. If the process requires complex, custom API calls or multi-agent orchestration, it's not a fit for a pre-built SaaS agent. Deep diving into this, you must ensure your data is semantically indexed in M365 and that the user interaction relies on standard conversational patterns. This decision tree represents the feasibility check. We start with the proposed use case and immediately ask, is the data in M365? If no, we must pause and consider custom builds or data migration. If yes, we ask, does this require complex orchestration? If it does, we pivot to pro-code platforms. But if the data is present and the workflow is straightforward, we arrive at the green box, approve the pre-built agent. Once validation is complete, we formalize the plan by blueprinting the use case. A blueprint is a structured summary that bridges the gap between IT and business leaders. The basics of this blueprint are simple. It consists of 3 mandatory elements: the business need, the agent actions, and the expected outcome. Why is this required? Because it clearly scopes the agent's boundaries and prevents feature creep. How do you write one? You explicitly state the pain point, list the exact tasks the agent will execute, and define the expected return on investment. Let's deep dive into an example: the HR policy assistant. The business need is that employees constantly ask repetitive policy questions. The agent action is to retrieve and summarize rules from the HR SharePoint site. The expected outcome is a measurably lower workload for HR staff and faster employee self-service. Look at this blueprint structure diagram. It visually breaks down the 3 core components you must document. It starts with the business need, flowing directly into the specific agent actions required to address that need. Finally, it points to the expected outcome. This linear flow ensures that every AI capability deployed is directly tied to a tangible business result. In our final step, we transition from strategy to operational reality by measuring success and scaling out. What this entails is defining exactly how we know the pre-built agent is working. The basics require tracking adoption, quality, speed, and safety. Why do we measure these rigorously? Because continuous telemetry proves our ROI and highlights if our underlying data needs cleaning. How you execute this is by setting up a starter KPI dashboard. You want to track weekly active users, how often humans accept the AI's first draft, and the actual time saved per task. For a deep dive into enterprise operations, you must closely monitor safety KPIs, ensuring policy violations remain near zero, while tracking the token consumption costs per successful task to guarantee long-term financial sustainability. Our final diagram outlines the operational KPIs essential for scaling pre-built agents. The main node splits into 5 vital metrics: adoption, quality, speed, safety, and cost. Notice how all of these metrics feed back into a continuous improvement loop at the bottom. This illustrates that post-deployment, the data you gather continuously refines and perfects the agent's performance in the enterprise.